20th through 22nd.
Support for KEXP in studio performances comes from contributing listeners and from BECU.
You're tuned in to 90.3 KEXP here in Seattle, kexp.org. It's just past 1 o'clock. I'm Stevie Zoom in for Cheryl for the midday show. That last set just finished up with Fu Manchu and music from Dinosaur Jr. Right now, we are ready for some live music in our studio, and happy to have back with us here in the studio, Love Battery. Welcome, gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing, Stevie?
We have Ron over here to my left, and Kevin's to my right. And if you guys would like to introduce real quickly the current rhythm section you got with you.
Curt Eckman on bass, formerly the Walkabouts. Ben Ireland on the Cosmic Time Machine, formerly of Sky Cries Mary. Maybe still. I don't know. No, actually,
It's a mystery.
Depends on what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
All right, Love Battery, a part of the concert at the Mural tomorrow evening, 5:30. It starts at the Mural Amphitheater, and we'll talk about some stuff that's going on. If you're ready for a couple of songs.
We're ready. When I'm sad, get along like no one else can do, and we'll try to bite the bitterness tangled in me, and fake it if it could be, and we'll come inside. Slow the memory as it fades. There's a key to open up your mind. I can see your mind. I can see your mind. I can. To the ceiling, another feeling. Sometimes it lasts too long, and we'll say I had to cash it in till payday comes. Sometimes it hurts like hell, and we'll find the meaning, feeling good to the core. There's a key that opens up your mind. I can see your mind. I can see your mind. I can see your This one's called Cool School Train of Thought. Ben has to consult his user's manual for the Cosmic Time Machine.
My I Ching. All right, you ready? Here we go.
90.3 KEXP here in Seattle. You're listening to live music from Love Battery. And that was Cool School, Train of Thought. And the first one was See Your Mind. Love Battery, Wayfinders, and Absolute Monarchs, all a part of the KEXP concerts at the Mural tomorrow evening starting at 5:30 p.m. And again, thanks for being here.
Our pleasure.
You guys enjoying the warm weather?
Yeah.
Love it.
Don't get enough of it. So
It lasts for a couple of days, a few hours.
Had enough,
Yeah.
had enough moss for a while.
it's I always hate it when the weather people go, oh, when is the relief gonna come? Relief in sight, rain.
Well, Ron, you might be saying that at the end of tomorrow's show.
Sweating is a style of
You
life.
know, I'll just bring Gatorade. That'll be my relief.
Yeah.
That's
I'll be in the beer garden.
You guys have any memories of the Mural Amphitheater stage or Seattle Center that you could share with us?
you know, I know the memories are somewhere in there. I don't know if I remember.
It's the
Don't
retrieval-
say 'em.
It's the
Call 'em.
retrieval process that's
Yeah.
getting harder. Apparently, scientists say it is in there. Yes, but to actually access
It's always we've played the Mural a few times, and
times.
it's always been a blast.
Yeah.
You know, number one, it's all ages.
Which
It's
is
free, outdoors, and tomorrow the weather should be nice. So, bring your shorts.
The mural's always there, too.
The mural and the Space Needle's right behind you. It's a great backdrop.
Yeah, it's outdoors and it's all that, and
Yeah.
it won't be raining.
well,
No, it won't.
let's knock on some wood. You
Yeah.
know, you never know. But
There's I looked at it real briefly in the New Stranger today. There's an interview with you, Ron.
Yeah,
right?
gosh, a whole page.
A whole yeah, and
Yeah, wow.
and a picture, a vintage picture.
A
in there.
vintage picture. We didn't get the new one in on time.
well,
Yeah.
if you go online, there's an online article that has the new picture and an interview with me. So there you go. So online's where it's at.
I was going to ask Kevin if you read the article and if you could kind of.
It was good. Well, actually, me and Ron talked about that. They asked us the same questions, so we answered basically the same.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna curious if you looked at it and remembered and thought, yeah, I can fact check all that stuff. That,
Oh
that Ron's
no,
talking
it was completely correct. And Jack and Dina was wonderful to work with, and it was really fun. When they asked us name one song, tell about how it came about, that was the song that both me and Ron picked because it was such an interesting progression from the beginning.
Well, because and also he asked what piece of equipment affected the song the most, and that was the tremolo on my old amp. You know, I'd never had an amp that had gone that slow and that deep. So it just happened. If it hadn't been on the amp, we would have never come up with that.
Or heard that Smith song too, but now they have a pedal for that, right?
Now they had pedals back then, but I just didn't have one.
I was curious if you guys ever came any communication over the years with Pete Shelley or any of the guys from the Buzzcocks with the band name.
You know, I once was backstage at Numos, and I think I told not Pete Shelley or Steve Diggle, but one of the new guys, and oh yeah, we named ourselves after one of your songs. He goes, oh, I'm sorry.
Well, they named themselves as a Marcel Duchamp sculpture.
That's
as well,
right.
So.
So Love Battery, we've got the article today and that we're kind of referencing is talking about that time period. And as you mentioned in the article, that when you're out and about and traveling, you say you're from Seattle. People, the first thing they're going to talk about is that time period if they're going to make a music reference.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys were a part of it. And, it's something special all these years later.
You know, I think Seattle back in the 80s was kind of a town you wanted to get out of because it seemed we were so isolated and, people were moving to L.A. or New York. And who would have thought, 20 some odd years later, people would be writing books and, I always dreamed, I wanted to be like back in London in 77 or New York in 74, 75, CBGBs, but then now, like, I was a part of Seattle in the late 80s, and that's just as cool.
Yeah. It's coming apart there.
Almost.
Ron.
I know, I
almost
think
as cool.
I'm nervous.
Apparently,
No,
this
I-
town is
Keep doing-
cool now.
I'm from California, but I first came up here with some friends in 1986.
Uh-huh.
And, things were just starting to sort of, it was just boiling right there at that point. And then, a couple of years later, and all my music friends back in California are like, what in the world's going on up there?
Well, it rains a lot, so you got to stay in these basements, plinking at your guitar,
I
dreaming
think-
of being elsewhere.
Yeah, what was really cool, it was very insular because we were kind of stranded up in the Northwest. So our biggest influences were our friends and other musicians. It wasn't like a huge outside influence on any of us. So it encouraged a certain sound that was pretty original and very natural and sincere, because it was all from the gut.
And there was a network. Everybody who was there, kind of developing their sound at the time. Everybody seemed to be, friends on good terms with everybody.
Well, the bands, everyone exchanged members.
Oh, yeah.
And as we've said before, it was funny when we were out on the road and we get interviewed from people. People would be like, "Well, how do you feel about Nirvana's success?" And they expect us to say, "God damn it, it should have been us." And we would say, "It's wonderful, isn't it?" And they were shocked, and they'd walk away from the interview feeling like, "Oh, that wasn't very."
Yeah,
much
we
fun."
wanted to hear dirt.
They wanted to hear like that.
Can I say that thing, Kevin, that you'd said after the first few practices with you guys? He goes, "Ben, you've been the last guy on the list of all the drummers in Seattle. Now that we've got you, it's been every drummer in
Well,
the
that's
rock
true too. That's another point. Yeah, we've had quite a few drummers actually.
Now these days, you guys have been doing shows every now and then.
Every now and then.
So this isn't like a reunion. You guys are, you guys have been doing shows every now and then.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
It was a lot less frequent. And then we got asked to do a show with some nice friends way back. It was like a year ago in Georgetown or something.
Yeah.
That kind of started off this lineup.
Yeah.
But it worked so well. It was like, wait a minute, maybe we should go ahead and do some more of this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really
The songs
These
really
guys-
have a great
they got a
new feel.
yeah.
Now the other thing I want to mention too, the other newer project that's been going on, Ron and Kevin have Vaporland.
Vaporland.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's a small town. Don't have to be confused with any drug references. It's a small town in northern England, right? Vaporland, I believe it's called. Vaporland, where
Yeah,
our
right next
drummer's
to
from.
Scotland.
Right.
Anyway, it's Kevin and I and Kurt Danielson from Tad, Garrett Chavlik from The Fluid, and Katie Scarberry. And originally it was kind of going to be an incarnation of Love Battery, but we started working on all these new songs, and it just kind of turned. It definitely had its own identity, so it became a whole new band.
So these days, when you're writing new songs, are you thinking more of Vaporland or Love
Well,
Battery in terms
both,
of new songs?
Both, actually. It's we haven't really had enough time to work out any new ones. It's kind of been, we got a show together. Let's get together for the 2 weeks before the show and run through the set. But now that we've got a regular practice schedule and things, new songs will be popping up.
Yeah.
Well, can I mention
both
Cosmic
bands.
Time Machine?
Oh yeah,
Kurt's
Cosmic.
out there.
Actually, it's funny because Kurt Danielson and Ben and I are in another band called Cosmic Time Machine, which is our kind of blues rock psychedelic freak out.
43-minute songs.
Yeah, and for
Four
some
movements.
reason there's a lot of lost time during practice.
Well, that's
what
happens
Don't
happened?
look at me.
Cosmic, that's what that means.
Yeah, and then Ben and I are also in another band where Ben is the lead singer, kind of a glam thing called Effin' Awesome.
That's not what it's really called, but he's trying to be
Yeah,
polite.
He
just-
plays
you know,
guitar
it
too,
is
right?
radio.
In that band? You play guitar, Ben, in that band,
Yes.
right?
He plays guitar and sings, and
Nice.
Ben has these incredible platform shoes. He's kind of like Frankenstein, walking around stage. You got to look out because
I
he's
got some for
knocking
Ronnie.
stuff over.
I got Ronnie
He
some
did.
too.
I will be wearing them next show.
So all these years later, things haven't changed. Several bands going on at the same time,
You know,
exchanging band members.
yeah, we just love to play.
Yeah.
And it just so happens, all our friends are musicians, so when we hang out, we usually are.
What else
Why-
is there to do?
Well, exactly.
Especially
Also, Kurt's from the Walkabouts, too. So we
Oh
got-
yeah,
everybody's
I did
from
mention
cool
that.
bands.
Yeah, Kurt's got quite a pedigree also. Kurt
Yeah.
Eckman,
Yeah. over
one
there.
of the Eckman brothers. Actually, Kurt's dad was my dentist when I was growing up. Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. Ah.
All right, tomorrow evening, concerts at the Mural. It starts at 5:30 with Absolute Monarchs and Wayfinders, and Love Battery are going to play after both of those bands. It's great you guys are here. You ready for a couple more songs?
Yes, we are. Thanks, Steve.
All right, Ronnie, a.k.a. The Scraper, you ready?
Yep.
Picked up on quick, it only made me sick to think about it way too much. And about our lives and all about it, it's all we can don't touch. It's nothing that I want, it's nothing that I need. If I could tune down my thoughts and avoid the shots, an easy action. I'll pick up a brick, get rid of it quick, for some satisfaction. It's nothing that I want. It's nothing I need, I wanna touch. I'm so sick of it all. There's nothing I need, I wanna touch. I'm so sick of it all. There's nothing I need, I wanna touch. I'm so sick of it, sick of it all. If I could turn out my thoughts and avoid the shots and easy action, I'd pick up a brick, get really quick for some satisfaction. It's nothing that I want, it's nothing that I need, it's nothing I can't touch. There's nothing I need, I wanna touch. I'm so sick of it all. There's nothing I need, I wanna touch. I'm so sick of it all. There's nothing I need, I wanna touch. I'm so sick of it all. There's nothing I need, I wanna touch. I'm so sick of it, sick of it all. Nothing I need, I wanna touch. There's nothing I need, I wanna touch. There's nothing I need, I wanna touch. There's nothing I need, I wanna touch. I'm so sick of it, sick of it all.
All right, Kevin, this is the song. We need the guitar up.
All right, Love Battery live here at 90.3 KEXP, Between the Eyes, and the one prior to that, Snipe Hunt. And again, tomorrow evening, 5:30 it starts with Absolute Monarchs and Wayfinders, and then Love Battery, concerts at the Mural Amphitheater.
It'll be a great show.
Yeah.
I love the fact Absolute Monarchs named themselves after 2 different brands of vodka.
Really?
Pretty cool.
And the Seattle spirit of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
All right, thank
Vodka
you.
and tonics will be wonderful tomorrow, I'm sure.
All right. Thanks, Kevin and Ron and Curt and Ben. Thank you guys for being here, and a thank you to our Kevin for engineering. It's 90.3
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.
KEXP,
Thanks, Stevie.
Seattle.
Thank you, guys.
Support for KEXP.
On the Vaporland thing here, which
It's
which
number-
number 2? Oh, it is called Vaporland as well. All right. How many songs are on here?